So welcome Kenya team heading off in October. Right, so as I've just introduced myself, I am Millie and I am part of the team here that has organised and remains to organising your entire journey to and from Kenya. So the purpose of today is to get you organised, and just to give you an outline, we are going to discuss your itinerary, your flights, money, extra costs to budget for, the safari, the scuba, phones, SIM cards, Wi-Fi, kit list, personal admin, health and safety. Okay, so we'll go through each section. I will just prattle on in my usual fashion, and any questions, just raise your hand and we can discuss it. Okay, so starting off with your itinerary. Well, having just returned, you are lucky. I was only there for 2 weeks. You're going there for 5. Very, very envious. And you are there in the perfect weather, when it is the perfect climate. The sun will be shining, the sea will be crystal blue, and the sand is perfectly white. So it is glorious. As you know, with having read the itinerary, what's special about Kenya is that you are going to be based in the Leap House called Pope's, which is an old hotel, which we have taken on. And it's got a little pool, it's got masses of areas, different areas where you can eat. And you've got little rondavel style bedrooms. There's 2 to a rondavel, which is a little hut with an ensuite shower. Now, they are basic. I am not saying that this is a luxe hotel. This is probably, I want you to kind of lower your expectations. So it's a kind of hostel style hotel, but it's clean, it's comfortable, and it's right on the beach. So that is, gives it kind of a 5-star appeal. Okay. The team that run it are glorious. And you've got a mix of local Africans who take such great pride in running the house, running you, okay, the setup, cooking you fabulous meals. And then you've got 2 leaders who they are kind of mid-20s, Lizzie and Ornella. They are running the projects and with you at all times. Oh, here's Annie. And then you've got Des and Tilda, who are the older folk, my age, not that old, I hasten to add, who live next door, who are in charge of the whole thing. Okay, so there's a kind of structure out there to make things happen and to keep you safe. So the itinerary, you're based at Pope's for 5 weeks. And that is your base, from which you will bounce on safari, from which you could bounce off to do the scuba. But regardless of those 2 add-ons, which we'll discuss later, every week is going to be a mix of various elements. And just to give you a brief recap, okay? So Des and Tilda set up the whole Oceans Alive, which is the non-profit conservation project to address the problem of overfishing and the abomination of the local reef system. So what they have created with the help of the government is a designated no fishing area right outside your house and a stretch along the beach. Okay, and you will see the difference firsthand. It is a very shallow area, so you will be able to walk out over, to see the reef. And what they have created is all this coral gardening and to turn the reef around, and it is beautiful. And I have snorkeled and dived in loads of reefs around the world, and this just snorkeling, and when you're coral gardening and the sun is out, you will see an exceptional abundance of fish, beautiful fish, all types, and the coral sparkling, healthy in all its glory. So that in the world right now is a real privilege to see. But so you will learn about the coral gardening and the regeneration of the reef. But in addition to that, you can't just say to the fishermen, hey, you're not fishing here anymore because you're ruining it. you're ruining it for everybody. So they have to find an alternative method of income. So that's where you will go and help their gardening and their farming and permaculture. You will help there introduce what they call vertical gardening to the lovely ladies that live in all the villages which align, which run along the coast. So now you've got these wonderful villages, and in their gardens, which are just dusty patches, they've now got old cement bags filled with compost, overflowing with fruit and vegetables, which now they can sell to the market. In addition to that, you will be building stoves, 2 or 3 per village. Okay, so each group usually builds 1 or 2, and they are called Geco stoves, and they are an innovation of the whole project. And what that does, it allows the fishermen to give to the fishmongers, there's 1 or 2 fishmongers per village, the chance to fry this big fish. That then extends the lifespan of this piece of fish. So therefore there is no need, that it reduces the demand for fish out of the ocean. So you will see how all these simple little projects, these simple initiatives are hugely interlinked with the overall aim of improving the ocean, the health of the ocean. So it's really, really interesting. But what it does for you as an experience is every day is different, every week is different as you go around tackling these things. And the beauty of the community aspect is you will see you've got this wonderful ocean, and then you've got a kind of strip of nice houses which are kind of along the beach, and behind that you've got all these wonderful African villages full of amazing, gorgeous, happy people, and you get a chance to go and be part of their society, which is a real privilege. To me, that is the main part of this experience. You are welcomed in with open arms. You are, don't let the kids give you mango, because they always give you the mango that's not ripe, which literally makes it kind of your eyes wince. So don't fall for that trick like I did. But you really do get welcomed into the school. There's a football match every week. They take their football so seriously. So, take, best foot forward, don't let the side down. So that is why everyone loves it. So it's Monday to Friday, you're going to be working hard. At the weekends, yes, you will want to go catch a taxi up to Kilifi, where there's a great little bar called Salties. If anybody wants to learn to kite surf, that's where everybody goes. There's often live music on at Salties. And so if you did want to go there, Ornelia and Lizzie will arrange that. That's no problem. And if you did want to stay the night, again, that's no problem. There's a great little backpackers lodge that you can stay in. It's not that expensive. What we don't want you is kind of traveling on the roads late at night, because all roads in Africa are, they need to be treated with respect. So you will be led through that. So anything so far? Any questions so far? No? All good. Okay, when it comes to the safari and scuba, now we appreciate that they are additional add-ons, okay? And you do not have to do them. So if you're sitting there at home thinking, Christ, this program, it's increasing in cost. Every time I blink, there's something else I want to do, and it adds in cost. Prioritize. And if I was in your shoes, I would prioritize above everything else is the safari. Okay, if you will go only do one thing, and that's ignore Salties at the weekend, ignore all the extras, that's what I would prioritize. And it's been penciled in to be over the 3rd weekend, so you don't have to rush, and you will meet our lovely guide who will come to the house or invite you to his house. And he is a real old timer, and he takes all the Leaps group, and he will talk you through the options. And so together you will work out, your budget that you want to spend and what your priorities are, because you know, there are some amazing things. We went to Savo East, which is only 3 to 4 hours away from the coast. And that, it isn't fantastic for all game, but my God, it is amazing for elephants. I mean, like abundance of elements of elephants. And as it's been the dry season, you know, you could just go to a waterhole, sit there and just see everything. It is so, so special. So that would be a great place to go. But again, you can stay in all different levels of hotels, from camping to 1-star, 2-star, 3-star. So get your budget straight, discuss it at home, you know, how far you could go, and then you discuss it as a team with everybody when you're out there. With regard to scuba, yes, it's a great place to do it, but and a lot of people do it. If it's been on your bucket list as something you want to really do, then great, do it. But it's not going to enhance your the program, as in the conservation, okay? Because you are going to do the conservation, the marine conservation, because the water is so shallow, you just need a good snorkel and mask, and away you go. Okay, so what I need you to do is think about it, and I need, what we'd like to do with the scuba is if you say, yeah, I definitely want to do it, then we're going to sign you up before you go so that you can get hold of the PADI admin, a laborious kind of stuff you've got to do online beforehand to get that out of the way, so that frees up, doesn't take away extra time on the program. Okay, so email me after the weekend with, yes, I'm going to do scuba, and then I can set everything in motion. Okay, so that, I mean, I sound like I'm doing a downer on scuba. It's a lovely thing to do, but I don't want anybody thinking they've got to do it, or that it's going to make the marine conservation even better, because you don't need it. You're doing it because you want it as a skill, and you might want to do a dive that would take you onto the deeper ocean on the other side of the reef. Okay. So any questions on those? No. Okay. Your flight. Right. So Cam, we finally got you organized. Could you all look out for Cam at Addis? Okay. He's the Lone Ranger coming in by himself. Now, I'm warning you, Air Ethiopia, I made the entire family do it. It's actually, I would say, on a par with long haul British Airways at the moment. You know, the planes are nice, pretty comfy, food. On the way out from the UK, it's nice. On the way home, bit dodgy. So take snacks when you're coming back. But great media, great selection of telly, of movies, so you'll be fine. Addis, on the other hand, is not particularly nice. It's, you know, it is okay. Don't do what I do. They will rip you off massively for Wi-Fi. I was stung, even though I had my Wi-Fi on for literally a second, I was stung 40 quid for 1 second. So put your plane on airplane mode and then go to one of the cafes on the top floor and just tune into their Wi-Fi. Okay, there's a few cafes, you know, there's a great duty free. Yeah, that is really good. My kids were happy in there. But, you know, it's welcome to the third world. And when you get to Mombasa, well, Mombasa is like arriving in a cattle shed. It really is basic, okay? But expect a queue, expect long, hot, sweaty queues. Okay, but it's literally one plane coming in at a time, so it's really easy. You are not going to get lost there, and there you're going to be picked up by Ornella or Lizzie and taken on it's about an hour and a half to Vipingo to the house, and you go through Mombasa, and it's suddenly welcome to Kenya. Okay, so it is pretty good, pretty easy. Do not forget the Kenyan admin. It is laborious, it is painful. I will send you an email the week before you go, but get on with your visas, okay? Get that all sorted. And then the week before you go, there are various forms you have to fill in, and I will send you a reminder with all of those forms. Print everything off, okay? Even your vaccinations, because Air Ethiopia, to go on, to get onto the plane, you have to show 100 forms. At Ethiopia, you don't need to show anything because you're in transit. But be prepared to take, that you go through masses and masses at Addis. What are they called, where you put your bags in and your security. Oh my God. So you're taking your shoes off a million times. So, don't wear complicated shoes, belts, reduce all that, because that has to probably come off twice just at Addis. So yes, so those visas, get on with that, and I will send you the final thing in that last week. Okay, all good? All good. Money, the Kenyan shilling is the local currency. Do not try and get that out in the UK or CAM in the States. Waste of time. It's a revolting, dirty currency. And actually, nobody uses currency out there. They all have this thing called M-Pesa. Now, you can't set up an M-Pesa account, but I have got, and I will just get it checked this weekend. I think we worked it out when we were there, a quick fix, a way around this. So basically, it's a different app on your phone, and I don't know if it's going to work, because if it doesn't work, you will just get cash out of the ATM and pay on cash or card at restaurants and cafes and things. But if it does work, it will be brilliant. And literally everybody accepts M-Pesa. It's like a kind of highly advanced PayPal. Okay, and everybody uses it, from the fishermen to the tuk-tuk drivers to buying a bangle on the beach. Okay, so I will send you that information next week. SIM cards, very easy. Just take a phone. Make sure, I would take 2 phones. One, which is your Bible phone, okay, because there's Wi-Fi in the camp, there's Wi-Fi in all the cafes, so that's easy. But just take a backup phone should you drop it into the sea or get it nicked or do something ridiculous with it. And that you could just change and have a local SIM card in it, okay? Wi-Fi, as I said, it's pretty much everywhere. WhatsApp, that's how everybody communicates over there, is by WhatsApp. So Cam, often I find that Americans don't have WhatsApp. Cam, have you got WhatsApp?
No.
Right, exactly.
No, we don't really use it here.
Okay, can you download WhatsApp onto your telephone and let me know when you've done it, and then we will set up a group WhatsApp group for you all.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, that's your homework for this weekend, Cam. Kit list. Okay, you must look at that kit list in your MyLeap. Okay, it is critical, okay, that you do not forget, because you cannot buy them out there, a snorkel and mask, and don't skimp. Get a decent snorkel and mask, okay, because you're using it every single day, and you'll probably got your face underwater for a good couple of hours. Okay, clearly you can come up, but you really don't want to be sorting out leaky goggles. Okay, a rash vest, I would take at least 2, because you're going to be wearing that every time you're going to the sea, because when you're coral gardening, it is you're standing, because you go at low tide, you're standing, so your back is exposed on the top of the water, so you will get so burnt if you don't have one. So a UV rash vest, and a really, really good pair of fitting of those silly shoes. What are they called? Yeah, the water shoes. Huh? Yeah, like no, they're not jelly shoes. They're like, yeah, they've got a drawstring at the back. Do you know what I'm talking about? Please, God, do you know what I'm talking about? I don't know what their official name is. Like little scuba boots. What you would wear if you were going kind of rock pooling, in Cornwall. You know, those little shoes. Okay, you really, really need them. And they need to have a pretty thick sole, because when you walk out on the reef, you really don't want to tread on a sea urchin or on a rock fish or something else that is going to hurt you. So you want a really good pair that fit and are quite sturdy. Other than that, hat, masses of bikinis, masses of shorts. You're going to be living in bikinis, swimmers, shorts, t-shirts, vest tops, all every day. Okay, it's hot and sweaty. Okay, think when you're packing. In the evenings, you will want to wear long trousers. Now, girls, the best trousers that I would be getting if I was you, I lived in them, are those, well, you could get them from a shop called Aspiga or another shop called Hoboco or something. And they're really thin cotton and they're elasticated waist and they've got elasticated ankles. Yeah, do you know what I'm talking about? And they're just brilliant because they keep mosquitoes out. Absolutely brilliant. Boys, I don't know what you're going to do to keep the mosquitoes out. You just got to spray your feet. So long cotton trousers and loads of mosquito repellent. All of you must pack that. Okay. I'll come back to that, but that is what you really need in the evenings. Take one jumper for a safari for the aeroplane, but you won't really be needing it at this time of year. Okay. Any questions on kit? Clothes. Okay. It's very easy to get your clothes washed when you're there in the camp. One of the lovely ladies will do it for you, and they don't charge much, if anything. But if you notice they really don't start charging, what would be a really nice thing to do is budget, leaving the staff in the house a tip. And what we recommend is about $25 a head. Now it's completely optional, and it's up to you. But you will find that they bend over backwards to do all your washing. They iron everything to an inch of its life. They cook you delicious meals and they want for nothing. But, you know, a little tip at the end would be really lovely. Okay. Post. If you leave anything, the post is a real pain. Now, it can get there, but there's no guaranteed. So please do not leave anything at home. And I mean your cards, your bank cards, I mean, your telephones. This is honestly, people do this. They just kind of, oh no, I've forgotten all my debit cards. I left them on the kitchen table. It's like, oh no. Medication, any medication, please don't leave that behind. Okay. When it comes to medication, okay, let's just whiz through that. All of you, we recommend that all of you take malaria pills, but we want you to be mindful that it can make you feel a bit odd, okay, the malaria pills. So get going 2 or 3 days before you leave home and just see how you're feeling. Now, you know, I would say 90% of everybody just is a breeze and they don't feel anything. But some people can get a dodgy tummy, can get headaches, can feel a bit low, can feel just a little bit out of sorts. So just, you know, be aware of how you're feeling. And if you're not, you know, kind of coping, then just go and tell Ornella and Lizzie, and then we will make alternative plans, which would be to stop taking them. But then you have got to be really careful and spray up and keep your mosquito nets down and, you know, really be responsible with it. So A, we'd rather you take them, but B, if you feel ill, then, you know, it has been known before. So don't fret. In your bags, one of the kind of biggest risks is a dodgy tummy. So take stuff for that. Dehydration, take stuff for that. It is hot and it is humid, especially in the first week. You're probably not used to doing hard labor in hot, sweaty conditions. So rehydration sachets is really good to take. Cuts in this environment, a simple cut, a mosquito bite can get infected very quickly. So in the UK, please, if you're leaving here, take some Sudocrem, some antiseptic stuff, you won't have Sudocrem out in the States, I doubt, but just talk to mum about anything that is going to help keep a simple cut or mosquito bite clean. Okay, and a barrier. a barrier, like Sudocrem puts this kind of white barrier on it and stops the infection jumping in. So that's why it's really, really good. A random thing, okay, because you are sitting in wet swimmers all the time, it is weirdly quite common, especially for girls, to get UTIs, okay? And the medication in Kenya is, you can easily get it, but actually it's quite expensive. So if just, I know this is kind of a personal thing to discuss on a Zoom, but if you are prevalent to UTIs, just sort yourself out, take stuff as a precaution, just go to Boots and get whatever you can to prevent that happening. And just be mindful that that does happen. So you need to keep hydrated, you need to drink loads of water, and you really don't need to sit around in wet cozies all day, every day. Okay. So that's kind of touching on the health and safety. So when it comes to health, you're keeping you safe out there. You are going to be drilled, okay, to an inch of your life about where you can go, where you can't go, which, please use these taxis, which are recommended drivers. Please don't walk about at night. Please don't walk through the villages with tiny weeny bikinis on. All this stuff, I can run through now, but it doesn't become really relevant. So on the day one, you will be, Ornella and Lizzie will go through the do's and don'ts, and especially at each phase, and especially when you go off to Kilifi at the weekends, or, all these different things. So, they know the area and they know the risks. So listen to what they're saying, and don't discard it. Even, I'm 52. I know, I don't look that old, do I? But, you don't, even we didn't take risks. So friends of ours were saying, come to, Kilifi and drive at night. We're like, no, we're not going to do that. So you just have to be, very, very sensible. Okay. And especially when it comes to what you wear wandering around, t-shirts, singlet tops, absolutely fine, but short shorts and teeny weeny bikinis, that is not appropriate for the area. Okay. Anything else? Drugs. Okay, I'm going to mention drugs. You will be offered drugs on the beach quite often. The answer is no. And I'm telling you, if anybody is caught doing drugs, then you are asked to leave the program. Okay, it is really black and white. Of course, we take everything into consideration, but the answer is just say no. And especially, the beach boys on the beaches, they can get really persistent. So it's just like, don't succumb to buying drugs. Oh, sunglasses, sarongs, you name it. They can pretty get pestering. So, no eye contact is often, the best tactic. Okay, so any questions so far? That's everything that was on my list. Anything on your list? No. Are you sure?
I've got one. So how do you exactly pay for the safari? I know my mom was wondering about that.
Do we do credit card or?
Can you do credit card, or is it all cash?
It's what you're going to do is you're going to, Mum, I know you're there in the background.
Hi.
You're going to have the painful experience of doing a bank transfer to an English account. It's not my account, it's the Safari account. But don't worry, we'll lead you through that.
Well, you've had to so far, so yeah.
Yeah, don't worry, we will. It's a breeze. So
okay.
Everybody else, that's what needs to be done. So it's pretty helpful if parents have got access to your bank account, or if they're going to do it on your behalf and you can pay them back, whatever you deal. But that's how that gets paid for. Again, the Scuba, if you want to do the Scuba, then you could do that online straight to the Scuba company based in Kilifi. So that's
okay. And one other question, since I have you. So if I've gotten Kenyan shillings, should I take those back to the bank?
No, keep them. Okay. It's absolutely fine, but It's great. That they accept them everywhere. It's just they're not particularly needed. But
Right.
you're being super organized, so no, keep them.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. When you're in Addis Airport, everything is in US dollars, but you can just pay on a bank card. Okay, so don't worry about that. Okay. And one of the best what was the cafe that we stopped in Addis? No, in Addis. It was a British pub. It was really weird. It was a British pub. It was at the back, but actually it was really nice. Delicious croissants and delicious coffee. Yeah, it was expensive, but the whole of Addis is expensive. Okay. Okay. So that is it from me. So to recap on your things to do, okay, Cam, you're going to get WhatsApp, okay? We will then set up a group WhatsApp for you all so you can meet at the airport beforehand, the Brits, and then hook up with Cam in Addis when you get there, okay? You're going to let me know on Tuesday or just as soon as you know over the weekend who wants to do the scuba or who's thinking about scuba and wants to decide when they're out there. It really doesn't matter. But if you're a dead cert, tell me now so you can do the online stuff beforehand. Okay. I will then send you I need to check that the banking system actually does work and I wasn't pulled a fast one. I will check that over the weekend and send you those details. And in the week prior to departure, I will send you a recap of all the weird and wonderful forms you need for entering Kenya. Okay? Good to go? Cool. And do not forget your snorkel, your mask, your UV wetsuits, and your funny little wet shoes. Okay? Whatever they're called. If somebody knows what they're really officially called, do let me know. Okay? Alice is saying scuba shoes. Whatever. Okay. Over and out from now, and you are in for a treat. Safe travels. Goodbye, and have a lovely weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good one.